Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
How are
wabarakatuh.
you?
Waalaikumsalam
Pagi ni,
warahmatullahi
have you
wabarakatuh.
check the US election tadi?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Ha?
Biden is leading.
Siapa nama ni? Biden ke Biden?
Biden.
Panggil dia Biden. Yang ada keturunan Melayu pun ni.
Biden. John
Biden
Biden.
ni. I think he's going to win.
Ya, itulah tu sebab dia pun tengah
Trump, I know how can Trump win? You know, maybe Trump, because Trump saying he is going to win. How can he win? Huh?
Possible.
How can he win? How can he possibly win the election? Because Biden need only like less than 10, right? Less than 10 vote to get 270. But how can Trump win that election? Macam mana?
Still quite a race lah kalau dekat Nevada tu macam it's very close.
Supposedly, you know.
Tapi
supposedly Trump will lose, you know. Trump will lose, will not get the majority. Now, how can he become the president again? Dia kena belajar dari Malaysia lah. You know, he has to learn from Malaysia. So they will have to meet somewhere in Las Vegas hotel. People from Democrat will jump to Republican. Then Trump can win. But the problem US, there is no jumping. You know, you will stick with your party until the end of the election cycle. Not like us. I think that should be the real thing. You know, even though the government has low majority, but the government need to be stable. In other words, you must not jump. You know, once you run for that party or that coalition, you must stay on until the next election. Because you know, when you get the vote, people don't vote just for you personally. They vote also based on what? Based on the party and also the coalition. So it's not just a factor of you that win your election. So by jumping, you know, like what happened in Malaysia, when you jump, it create instability. So this will continue, you know. This will continue. Even if Anwar Ibrahim became the prime minister, and then after that, you know, will be instability again because people keep on jumping. So that's the thing. So one way to do this, to stabilize, they must have a law to ban this jumping. No? But I think in US election, tak ada chance lah Trump menang. Inshallah, Biden will win. I think it's good, you know. Trump pun dah banyak buat masalah. Okay. Any comment about US election before we move on?
It's very interesting lah sebab Trump prematurely announced dia punya victory.
Yeah, I wonder why he did that. You know,
maybe dia takut kot.
That was before even 50% of the votes being casted, right? Being counted. And he already made that statement. So that worked against him. Probably when people listen to him saying that, you know, many people who has the tendency to vote for him end up voting against him because he is so overconfident. Like that.
I think he's afraid kot sir because mostly yang uncounted tu is mail-in ballots. And yang mail-in kan usually Democrats yang masih dikira tu. Yang post before election day.
The mail vote.
Mail.
Belum masuk lagi.
Mail vote. Yes, masih still counting.
Yeah,
usually Democrats.
That's why you shouldn't, you know, you shouldn't say, you shouldn't put, you shouldn't throw away your water until it actually rain. You know, you look at the cloud, you look at the sky, it's dark, but doesn't mean it's going to rain because that cloud can move away. So Biden ni kena belajar peribahasa Melayu. Dia kena Biden pula, Trump. But I think US need to change president. Trump ni pelik betul lah. But actually, you know, at the beginning, I like him because I saw the program. You are fired. You know, he was very, I mean, personality, he was very strong and a businessman. So I thought he can be a good president. But when he became president, macam orang mabuk. You know, he doesn't speak like the president. So, so people are upset with him. Okay. So hopefully, you know, we can see the actual outcome today. All right. So today we are going to continue with our discussion. We are done with the topic of externality. So today we will move on to the next topic. That would be on the public good. Public good is chapter number 4. So what we are going to look at today are a few things. Number one, we're going to define, you know, the concept of public good. So firstly, we're going to see, okay, what is a public good? Secondly, we will do this. We want to find the optimal amount of public good. And we're going to do this by private. So private sector or people themselves will provide the public good. The public good is going to be provided privately. So we call it private provision of the public good. And this will result in what you call non-optimal outcome. All right, there is a problem with private provision, non-optimal outcome, and there is also a problem with free ride. So therefore, we argue that the government will come in and provide the public good. So basically, what we are saying is this: for a public good, okay, due to the nature of the public good, the private sector will provide non-optimal quantity or non-optimal quantity. Sometimes we call it under-provide. They don't provide enough. So therefore, the government will provide. So that is our argument. So that is the model that we're going to look at. So what we'll do, you know, we'll consider first model, that is the private provision, and then related to that, we come up with the government intervention. Okay, so basically that is chapter 4 about. Now, what is a public good? And what is a private good? Okay, now in your life, most of the things that you have, you know, or you consume, is it private or is it public? Give me an example of a private good. I mean, it's private means it belongs to you, it's yours, you know. What is, give me an example of a private good.
Our houses.
Your own house. Okay. What else?
Food and our clothes.
Your food. Okay. Let's say you buy ice cream. Okay. Ice cream that you buy for two ringgit. That's yours. Okay. Now, what is a public good?
Government owned.
Apa dia?
Government owned.
Not necessarily government owned. Public good. that thing doesn't belong to you, and it doesn't belong to other people as well. But it doesn't mean that it belongs to the government. It may belong to, a private
society.
entity.
Or maybe to society, like waqf.
Yes, what is it?
Like waqf.
Like
Waqf.
what? Wakaf?
Yes.
Wakaf is very general. Give me a specific good. It's a good, like ice cream.
Like water and electricity.
Water.
Water. Okay. Oh yeah. First time I hear water. Last time people didn't give me water. But water, water is special because when you consume water, that amount of water will be reduced. Water is not a good. Water, it may be public to a certain extent, but it can be, it may not be really public. Okay, because if you have, let's say, a tank of water, after that it's finished. Okay. All right. Give me another example. When you say wakaf, that's related to some public good. So what is that good? Apa dia? What? I cannot hear.
Public schools.
Apa dia? Public apa? Public school?
Playground, sir.
Apa dia?
Playground.
Playground. Yeah, okay. Playground is a public good. Okay. Playground is one good that is public. That means it doesn't own. It's not owned. It's not owned by you. We are not talking about ownership here. Actually, the basis is not ownership. It's the probably ownership. You got that? Public good. But the thing is, for a public good, that playground, okay, is there, for a long period of time. And then, what is so special about the playground? People can consume that playground. When we say consume, it means people enjoy. Okay, they use the service. Many people can consume that playground. Okay, and nobody can stop anybody from using that playground. So playground has some public property, as opposed to the ice cream. Okay, ice cream, when you buy the ice cream, you consume the ice cream. Then somebody else cannot consume that ice cream. Okay, because it has been consumed by you. Okay, but the playground, if one child comes to the playground, that means consume the playground, another child can consume the same playground, the same amount of playground. All right. So that is basic concept of public good. Now, when you say wakaf, okay, I think I'm interested in that one. When you say wakaf, okay, what are the goods that you provide from that wakaf? What is the good? What are the goods available from wakaf? Apa boleh?
Quran.
Quran. Okay. Now that Quran, you can say it's you cannot say it's a public good if there are many copies. Then, but Quran has some nature of public good. Okay. When you read the Quran, after you finish reading, somebody else can read the same Quran. Okay. So that has but give me a more physical example lah. Apa benda lalu orang buat dengan wakaf ni? Siapa yang cakap wakaf tadi? Apa dia?
Water dispenser, sir.
Apa dia?
Water dispenser.
Water dispenser. I think more clear lah. More general example is mosque. Mosque.
Lands.
Mosque is a public good. You go to the mosque, somebody else go to the mosque, will consume the same amount of mosque. Okay, so that mosque has characteristic of a public good, like the playground, right? Okay, so what we want to do now is, how do you define the public good? You define the public good by two characteristics. Number one, it's non-excludable. Okay, one is non-excludable. The other is non-rival. All right, so base public good, we call this, if they satisfy these two characteristics, we call it pure public good. So we're going to discuss a little bit about the characteristics. Now, what do we mean by non-excludable? Okay, non-excludable means you cannot exclude other people from using that good. For example, the mosque. You go to the mosque, you cannot exclude another person from using the mosque. As long as, of course, there is some criteria, as long as they are Muslim, or even some non-Muslim, who they can enter. So it's non-excludable. Or the playground, if you are in the playground, you cannot exclude another person from coming in. All right. So the excludable is this: when you consume the good, when I consume or you consume, then you cannot stop. Okay, you can't stop others from consuming the same public good, the same amount, to be more specific, the same amount of the public good. So here, when you consume the public good, I think we should put the public good, we cannot stop others from consuming the same amount of the public good. Now that is non-excludable. Right? We cannot exclude others from consuming the same amount of the good. Okay, number two, it's non-rival. What is non-rival?
No competition in production.
There is no competition in consume. Okay, if I consume X amount of good, that means you can also consume the same amount. All right. So your consumption of the good does not reduce, okay, does not reduce the amount or quantity that can be consumed by others. Now for public good, we use consume. Now this consume doesn't mean consume like you are eating it, okay? Consume, it's more general. So consume like playground, you consume playground. That means you play in the playground, you will enjoy the service, okay? Enjoy the services provided by the good. So we just call it consume, okay? Enjoy the services provided by the good. So we call it consume. So public good, the word is consume, but not in the sense of consume like you are consuming private good. So you can consume a mosque, you can consume a playground or a public school. So that consumption is it's more in the sense of enjoying the services provided by the good. All right. So non-rival meaning that if I consume one public good, one unit of a public good, that doesn't reduce the amount available to you. You will be able also to consume 1 unit. So that is non-rival. The example that we give was the playground. Okay, playground, and other example, the light, the street light that is available in URA. There are a lot of street light, around the building. Or you may not be street light, it can be garden light, all right? So that street light or garden light is a public good. Why? Because I cannot exclude others from using it. If I enjoy that amount of light from the light, that means other people will enjoy the same amount of light from that light. So that is some, some examples. And a very common example given, if you look at textbook, a very common example is what? If you read the book, and the book on public finance, the first example they give you on the public good that satisfy these two character. Apa benda? Apa? Public national defense. Okay, national defense. It's national defense. It can mean internal security. The police service or the military. All right. So that national defense or national service or national security, it's non-excludable and non-rival. For us, that means the national defense is available, is given. So if I enjoy the service from the national defense, I cannot exclude you. Okay, and then if I enjoy the same amount, you will enjoy also the same amount. All right. So national defense is one of the example or the police service. All right. So that is a few examples of public good. Okay. Any comment? Anything? Okay. Now, apart from that, there are many types of goods which we call partial public good. Now, partial public good, they only satisfy one character. There are two characters. Okay, they only satisfy one character. Number one, it is non-excludable, but rival. Okay. Now, if you look at the example that we just give just now, the playground, if you go deeper into playground, what happened? If there are more children coming in, what happened? Let's say there are 2 people at the beginning. After that, 10 people. After that, 100 people. So what happened?
Some of them cannot play.
Some of them cannot play.
Yes.
So that playground has rival property. Okay. So if as more people consume, okay, as more people consume, then the amount available, or the cost, the amount available to all, okay, to everyone, will reduce. Okay, or in other words, some people may say, as more people consume it, as more people consume the public good, it will incur additional costs. Okay, there'll be some costs to everyone. All right, but the thing is, it's rival. As more people consume, there will be less amount available to everyone. So let's say the playground, let's say the playground is only this big. Let's say 50 meter by 50 meter. You have all the things inside. Of course, if 10 people, everybody can play. But suddenly there are 100 people crammed into that thing. So they are fighting, okay? Fighting to play the swing, or, the the game. So that would be what? That would be rival. Okay. So that becomes rival. So there'll be less. Or another example, a very common example is the tragedy of the common. This is a classic example. Have you heard about the tragedy of the common? Common means common property. Okay, common property means just like the playground. So here you have a grazing field. Grazing fields, that means the field that is full of grass, and cows use the grass to eat. Cows eat grass on that field. So suppose there is one farmer. Okay, one farmer. Farmer A. There he has 50 cows grazing on the field. I think the field can be bigger. Let's say 50 meter by 50 meter, maybe too small. Maybe 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer. All right, so you have 50 cows. And from the village, farmer A, 50 cows bring in. So his cow enjoy the grass because ample grass for all the cows. Now there is another farmer now, B, bringing 70 cows, also using the same field. And then another farmer, C, bringing 100 cows. That is. And then you got another D, bringing 80 cows. So as more and more farmers bring their own cows to the field, what happened? What happened to the grass?
Finish up.
Finish up. All right. So as more cows eat or consume the grazing field, you have less grass available for all cows. So every cows now, become underweight, become thin. So that is tribal. Okay. So the tragedy of a common, if you look at old textbook, if you Google, you just Google, then this is about the grazing field. So that is one, non-excludable, and it become rival. What is another example? Give me one more example. More practical example, in our everyday life.
Fishing in a common water.
Common water. Common water. Give me another example.
So what about hospital?
Classroom, sir.
Classroom. Yeah, classroom can. You can use classroom. Because if the classroom capacity is 40, and then as more people coming in, it become rival. Another good example is this road or bridge. When you talk about road, you talk about road, some stretch of road, for example, or road during certain time. All right. You look at the highway, either the Karak highway or the Plus highway during Hari Raya or during weekend, what happened to the road? There are more cows, more cars, on the road, become rival. Okay, so you have less road available for you. In fact, you have less road available for everybody. And not just that, it creates additional costs to all the drivers. So, another example is road or bridge. Okay, all right. Now that's non-excludable, non-rival, non-excludable rival. Now the other one, the good may be non-rival, but it can be excluded. So we call it non-rival excludable. Now this is not that common. Okay, one example we normally use is the cable TV, the Astro. Okay, Astro TV. Now Astro TV, the service that provided by the satellite is non-rival. Okay, it doesn't matter you have 1 million people or 100 people, you will get the same amount. Correct? It's non-rival, but we can exclude people from using that, from consuming that good. Okay, so we can exclude that. So that is non-rival, exclude. So for the Astro TV, people can be excluded, from using that good, but that good is non-rival. So there are many types of partial public good. Okay, and for the pure public good that satisfy these two characteristics, not that many. Okay. Okay, good. Now, any question?
Sir,
Yes.
as for the Astro TV, is it the Astro TV that is non-rival or the satellite is non-rival?
Both. The Astro TV though, it's a satellite TV. Okay, the Astro TV is just the name in Malaysia. Okay, other country they may have another name. The Astro TV is just the ownership. Okay, but the good is the satellite wave. Okay, the satellite service that enable us to obtain the service. So if you have 1,000 people or 1 million people, everybody enjoy the same amount of a TV service. So it's non-rival. But I can exclude you from using that service. So it is excludable. Okay? But it's non-rival. It's not like the road. Okay? As more people using the road, the amount of road available to everyone will be smaller. No, not that one. Here you cannot. There's no rival, no rivalry, but you can exclude. Okay. All right.
Okay, sir.
All right. So now, when you look at this kind of good, public good and private good, what you want to do next is that how do we determine? Okay, how to determine the quantity, the optimum, correct? The optimum amount or quantity of public good. So we will start with a private good, because private good we already know, right? Now private good. So here we're going to look at a simple model, just based on the market as well. So before that, we look at a private good, like the ice cream. So let's say we're looking at a market ice cream. Now for a private good, the demand for a private good, okay, you consider the demand of private good. And then you look at the ice cream, the demand for ice cream, and then the supply of ice cream. Then, you will get the equilibrium amount of ice cream. So that is the demand, the marginal benefit, okay, the market marginal benefit, which is equal to the demand, and that is the marginal cost, which is equal to the supply. So for equilibrium, the marginal cost is just equal to the marginal benefit. You will get the equilibrium quantity, call it C, market equilibrium, and then PC. So that is the market. Now, when you look at the individual, okay, you look at the individual, how do you get the market demand? How do you obtain the market demand? Given the individuals, given the household. This is the market demand, right? That is the market demand. Now, how do you get the market demand from individual demand? Or, okay.
By adding up all the individual.
You add up the marginal benefit function, right? Now, that's one. Number two, if the price of ice cream say 3 ringgit, okay, and the market demand is 100, if one person, okay, you look at, let's say there are 10 people here, okay, there are 10 people. Now for that 10 people, what price do you pay for that ice cream? How much do you pay for ice cream? What is the price for your ice cream?
3 ringgit.
3 ringgit. Okay. How much? Let's say 10 people. All right. Let's say Abu. Okay, Ali, the first person. He will pay 10 ringgit. Okay, or 10 RM. Now, how much he will buy? How much he will consume ice cream? That one you don't know. Okay, because you know only the market. So let's say 10. Okay. Now you look at another person. Say Siti. Now, how much does she pay for the ice cream?
3 ringgit.
3 ringgit. Okay. And how much she consume? That will depend on his demand function. Say 8. So the consumption will depend on the individual demand. Okay. But thing is, everybody pay the same price. So for a private good, everybody pay same price. And consume different quantity based on their demand function. So if you look at the demand function for a private good, the demand function for everyone will be like that. Okay, so say here DA for Ali, DS for Siti, and there DK, you know, for Kamal. So you pay the same price, everyone, and we consume the same different quantity. All right, so that is private good. You sum the demand. So you get the market demand. How? You sum it. Sum the individual demand or marginal benefit horizontally. Okay, we sum it horizontally. That means at each price you sum the quantity. So we call it horizontally. Okay, so you get the market demand. So that is our equilibrium. So that is for private good. Okay, all right. Now look at the public good. Okay, for a public good, there are 2 characteristics which we know already. Okay, the public good, the characteristics we know already, the non-excludable, non-rival. Now, okay, we're going to look at what is the optimum amount of the public good to be provided. So the basis of our discussion will be based on that model also. Okay, on the market model, demand supply. All right, and based on the 2 characteristics, there will be minor difference. Okay, there is a minor difference between the demand for a public good and the demand for private good. All right. So if you look at the public good just now, you know, based on the 2 characteristics, the non-rival, non-excludable, then we can imply that everyone, okay, everyone consume what? The same quantity. Because it's non-rival. You know, if I consume the public good, everyone else consume the same amount of the public good. Okay, so everyone consume the same quantity. Okay, all right. So based on that, we can come up with the demand function. Okay, the demand function for the public good. All right, I ask you this thing. No, imagine, you know, it's a public good. You are consuming the same amount. For example, let's say you want to provide the playground. Okay, that playground. Suppose playground, or you know, road. Okay, so suppose that playground. Now, what is your demand for that playground? In other words, you are going to not your demand. Your demand is just a normal demand. How much are you going to, or how should I say it? Everyone will consume the same amount. Okay, you know that everyone will consume the same amount of that playground. Now we are going to provide this good by ourselves. I mean, private. Okay, that means the people in the village will provide. Now everyone will consume the same quantity. The question is, how much are you willing to pay for that quantity of a public good? Suppose you have 10 people also. You know, you have Ali, you have Ahmad, you have Siti. Okay, the same amount, quantity, say Q equal to 1. Everyone will consume 1. But their marginal benefit, that means the additional benefit that they will get by consuming 1 more unit, or the price they are willing to pay. I think if you look at the price willing to pay, I think that makes more sense. What is the price they're willing to pay so that you can provide the public good? Let's say Ali. Suppose Ali is willing to pay 50 ringgit. Now, will Ahmad also willing to pay 50?
Maybe not.
He will not. Okay, he may, you know, but normally will not. So the marginal benefit of Ahmad is different than the marginal benefit for Ali. Ahmad is willing to pay different. So maybe he's going to pay only what, 30. All right? And what about Siti? Maybe Siti has more money, he's going to pay 100. Okay? And you add another guy here, say John, all right? He's willing to pay only 1 ringgit. Okay? His marginal benefit. So the thing is here, for a market of public good, everybody consumes the same quantity, but their willingness to pay is different. Okay? Their willingness to pay is different. So here, everyone consumes the same amount, but how much I'm going to willing to pay, that will be different for everyone. So that is the difference, okay, between the market demand for a public good and the market demand for a private good. The individual demand, okay, the individual demand, demand function. The individual demand is just like normal, okay, downward sloping. That means Q go down, P go up, or when the Q go up, P will go down. All right, the market demand will be the same. The difference is how you get, I mean, the individual demand will be the same, similar to the demand of a private good. The only difference is how do you get the market demand. All right, so let's get the market demand. So for a public good, let's say I draw this bigger because, you know, we're going to use this maybe later on also. So let's say I draw it up to here. That's the Q. Okay. The market demand, you call it the marginal benefit, or we call it sigma marginal benefit. That is equal to the demand. So that is the market demand. All right. Now the supply, the marginal cost, will just be similar to the supply of a private good. That means to provide the to supply the private good, the public good, it's just like to supply private good. Okay, so here no problem. The only difference will be on the demand function. Okay, how do you get the market demand? So based on the market demand and the supply, you will get the equilibrium. Call it Q star. And then you will get that P star. Okay? Now, how do you add individual market demand? So as I said earlier, the demand for individual are the same. Okay? Downward sloping. So the demand of everyone will be just like that. So this is the demand for A, that's the demand for B, demand for C, demand for D. Now, how do you add up this individual demand to get the market demand function? So as you can see earlier, we consume the same amount, all right? For example, let's say Q equal to 1. Here, Q equal to 1. Q equal to 1. I think some of these are very, very, very high. So if it is Q equal to 1, I think this diagram is not very, very accurate to reflect, what I wanted to say. So let me take out the individual demand function. This is not good, the diagram. We have to make it. You know what? I think I will clear that up. I'll clear the thing. We draw another one. So I draw a better one so that we can show. So let's say this is the Q, that's the P, that's the market demand. That's the marginal cost. This is the supply. You've got the equilibrium here. That is P star. That is Q star. Okay, here we can make it more presentable. Suppose you have the demand for everyone like that. All right, say DA, DB, DC, D for the fourth percent. Make it closer. Yeah, don't worry. Okay, you got DC, then you got D. Okay, now that's better. Now suppose, all right, we have Q equal to 1, somewhere here. Now for the market demand, how do you get the market demand? You will add up, all right? You add up based on this idea. We consume the same amount. You are willing to pay different prices. So in order for us to get the market demand, you will add up the individual demand function, market demand, which is the sum of the marginal benefit, all right, which is equal to DA plus DB plus DC plus DD. You know, there are 4 people. Okay. Boleh. A, B, C, D. Okay. 4 people. Of course, it may not only be 4, you know. It can be any number. All right. So you can have 5 or 10. Now, for our example, just say 4 or 5. Now, how do you get the market demand function? By adding the individual demand function. So it's just like the private good. Now, what is the difference? The difference is you add the demand function vertically. The private good, you add horizontally. Okay. Now you add vertically. Now, what do we mean by vertical vertical summation? Vertical summation means you add the willingness to pay at different prices. Okay. So given Q, okay, equal to say Q0. So at any Q, okay, any Q, you will sum up the different marginal benefit of I. Okay. So I meaning the number of people are A, B, C, D. So in other words, you sum up the marginal benefit or willingness to pay at a given Q. Okay. So let's say at Q equal to 0, at Q equal to Q0, I think we should put a capital Q. Q equal to 0. Then how do you get the market demand? You are going to add, all right, the market demand of A plus the market benefit, or the marginal benefit, I'm sorry, the marginal benefit of B plus the marginal benefit of C plus the marginal benefit of D, which is equal to the price they are willing to pay. So the price of A plus the price of B plus the price of C plus the price of D, then you get the market demand function at Q, okay, at any Q. So you do that for every Q. So you will get the market demand. So we do that, okay, you do the summation, you repeat the summation, do the summation for every Q. All right, then you will get the market demand function. Okay, so let's go back to this example here. You look at this diagram, you are doing the vertical summation. This is the market demand function, the sigma of the marginal benefit. This is individual demand. Okay, so let us start at Q equal to 1. When Q equal to 1, you will see what are the marginal benefit of everyone, or what is the price they are willing to pay for A, B, C, and D. So you go up there, all right? You will see at Q equal to 1, the marginal benefit is here. This is PA, that is PB, that is PC, that is PD. So to get the market demand at Q equal to 1, okay, you will add up these prices. Okay, so PA plus PB plus PC plus PD, that will get you, say, P1. Call it P1. All right, so PA plus PB plus PC plus PD equal to P1 at Q equal to 1. So you got 1 point over there. Okay, the market willingness to pay. And then you do that for another Q. Say Q equal to 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we jump. Let's say here Q equal to 10. Okay, so you repeat the thing for Q equal to 2 up to whatever it is. So say Q equal to 10. You will do also the same thing. All right. So you got PA plus PB plus PC plus PD at Q equal to 10. You add them up. Okay. What you get? You get, say, P10. So that is P10. And then you will finish up. Okay. All this Q. Say here is 15, 20, or whatever. So you add up at all the Q, then you will get the market demand function. So that will be our market demand function. So the key here is we add them up vertically. Okay, we add them up vertically, not horizontally. So to get the market demand function, you get the market willingness to pay at each quantity. All right, so you need to consider each quantity. So we say that here, you add the willingness to pay at each Q, which is available on the demand function. Okay, any question about that? So that's how you will get the market demand function. Now, after you obtain the demand function, so you got the MBA plus MBC plus MBD plus MBV, that will be equal to the market demand function. Just call it D. So after you obtain that thing, then we can determine the equilibrium, okay, which is determined by the market demand function equal to supply. Or in other words, the market marginal benefit equal to the marginal cost. So that is the condition for optimality or for efficiency amount of public good, or that is the equilibrium, the market equilibrium. Okay, all right. Now you look at the equilibrium. So when you look at the equilibrium, go back to the diagram. That is our equilibrium. Yeah. Okay, that is the equilibrium. And that is when the market demand function, okay, so equilibrium is determined by the demand equal supply for public good, that is the sum of the marginal benefit equal to the marginal cost. So that will be the equilibrium. And that corresponds to Q star and P star. All right. Now everybody will consume the same amount. So I go back to our discussion here. When you got the equilibrium, say equilibrium at E, all right, where Q equal to Q star and P equal to P star. Now, since a public good, everyone consume Q star, okay, same amount. Question is, what about the price? Okay, everyone pay what? We go back to the diagram. Okay, here is the diagram. So you got equilibrium at E, quantity is Q star, price is P star. Now, how much everyone pay? Or what is our willingness to pay at the Q star for everybody, A, B, C, D? Do everybody pay P star?
No, sir.
No. How much do you pay? Or
Up to
how
you.
do you pay? Your willingness to pay will be dependent upon what? Upon your marginal benefit. Okay, how much you're willing to pay, that will depend on your demand. So everyone pay. Okay, everyone pay according to their own marginal benefit at Q star. Okay, marginal benefit means their own willingness to pay, their price on the demand function. All right. So if you go back to the diagram at Q star, what are the prices of everyone? That price, their willingness to pay or their marginal benefit would be their marginal benefit at Q star. Okay. So for A will be there, will be that price. The B, that price. C will be that price. And for D would be that price. So this is how much they're going to pay. All right. So we call this, because I use PA, PB, PC, PD. So now I'm going to call this PA star. Okay, because it will denote to the equilibrium output. Call this one PB star. This one here, call it PC star. And that, call it PD star. So for the willingness to pay, they will determine how much they are willing to pay or their marginal benefit that correspond to the equilibrium quantity, Q star. All right. So from there, you will get the market marginal benefit at Q star. Okay. All right. So at Q star, you add up, okay, the price of A star plus the price of B star plus the price C star plus the price D star, that you will get P star. Or in terms of marginal benefit, there will be marginal benefit A plus the marginal benefit of B plus the marginal benefit of C plus the marginal benefit of D. Then you will get the sum of the marginal benefit for the market at Q star, call it star. All right. So that is the price. So everyone will contribute their willingness to pay. And the sum of the willingness to pay of everyone will be equal to the market price of the good. So that is the difference. Okay. If you recall, the private good, everybody will pay the same market price. If the market price is 3, everybody will pay 3. But here, it is not. Everyone contribute their willingness to pay. And the sum of their willingness to pay will be equal to the market price. All right. So just to relate to the ice cream, the one that we have the idea, if the market price is 3 ringgit, then everyone don't pay 3 ringgit. Okay. Someone pay 50 cents, 0.5. Someone pay 0.7. Someone pay, no, this is 1.2. So someone pay 1.2. Dah cukup ke belum? This is 1.9, 2.4. So last person, they pay 0.6. So the sum is 3. So everybody contribute, okay? Their willingness to pay. So everybody consume the same amount, all right? But they are willing to pay different prices. Their marginal benefit are different for everyone. Okay, you got it? Any question? So the only difference here is the market demand function. All right, we will get the market demand function by summing up the willingness to pay or the prices at each queue, or you sum them up vertically. So you get the market demand function, which is called the sigma MB or the D, and then you determine the market equilibrium by equating it to the marginal cost or the supply function. You get the market equilibrium. Okay. Now at that market equilibrium, you get the equilibrium price, call it P star, and then you got the equilibrium quantity, Q star. So at that Q star, how much people pay? That will depend on their own marginal benefit at that level of output. And the sum of the prices at Q star, or the sum of the marginal benefit of everyone at Q star, will be just equal to the market price, or will be equal to the market marginal benefit at that level of output. Okay, all right. So, given that, let's consider an example. We go to the book. You know, the book gives you a table that relate the quantity to the price of a public good. And from there, you want to find the market demand function of the public good. So go to example number, go to table 4.2. All right, go to table 4.2. You will see the table. You'll see the table that relate the marginal benefit or the price of the public good to different quantities. So table 4.2, you have the public good security guard. This is just like a police service. Okay, security guard for a community. And you have there for different quantities, you have the marginal benefit of different people. You have 3 people. You know, in our example, we consider 4 people, A, B, C, D. This example, we consider only 3. All right, A, B, C. Okay, so here you are given individual demand. Okay, individual demand for the public good for A, B, C. All right, so the relationship between the MB of A to the quantities 1, 2, 3, and 4, that give you the demand for A. See here 200, 300, I'm sorry, 250, 200, 150. So that is the marginal benefit for A, or the demand for A. All right, and you also given demand for B, demand for C, and so on. Now from there, you want to find the market demand function. Now, how do we add the individual demand function to obtain the market demand? How do you add? Okay, go to the table. How do we add? Hello, hello. Anybody there? Now, how do you add the individual demand function in order for us to get the market demand function?
At each quantity, at the prices.
You add what? 150?
The price
What do
at
you mean by
each
150?
quantity.
Huh?
At the price at each quantity.
You add the different prices or the different marginal benefit at each Q. Okay, so you add at each Q. So the rule, you know, as you recall, so at each Q, what do? You add the marginal benefit.
At
Okay,
all
for
prices.
for everyone. So if you look at the table here, you are given A, B, C.
Yes.
Okay, 3 people. So you add at each Q. So for Q equal to 1, what is the sum of the marginal benefit or the sum of willingness to pay? That will be 300 plus 250 plus 200. That will be 750. At Q equal to 2, you do the same, you get 600. Q equal to 3, you get 450. Q equal to 4, you got 300. So that is our market demand function. That's why you call it add vertically. All right, you add at each Q, or you add the prices at each Q. The private good, you add the Q, the quantities that you demand at each price. Okay, so here it's the other way around. So once you got the market demand function, then you look at the book, figure 4.6. So if you look at figure 4.6, okay, what you will see, you will get the market demand function. I think I'm going to draw it here. You get the market demand function. This is market for security guard. And this is the price. Okay, when you say the price or marginal benefit, that's the price, means price per unit. You do the summation, you will get the market demand function. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So for 1, it's 750, suppose somewhere there. For 2, you got 600, be somewhere there. For 3, you get 450, be somewhere there. 4, you got 200, or be 300, I'm sorry, somewhere there. So that is the market demand function. Let's call it D. Now, the marginal cost for a public good, private good, same, all right? Just the same cost of production. So the marginal cost is equal to what? It's a constant, which is equal to 450, I'm sorry. So marginal cost is constant 450. So how does the marginal cost look like if it is a constant?
Horizontal line.
It'll be horizontal. Okay, so that will be 450. And 450 will be somewhere here. So that is the marginal cost, the 450. So when you draw the graph, you know, put the number here, scale, okay? I don't do it. So the marginal cost is 450, which is the supply, okay? So what we do first is we determine the market equilibrium. So for market equilibrium, what do we need? The condition is the sum of the marginal benefit or the market demand function equal marginal cost, all right? In other words, demand equal to supply. Okay, so if you do that, what do I get? I get equilibrium, okay? Q equal to Q equal to Q star, that is equal to 3. Now, what about the price? P star. P star is equal to what? Or the marginal benefit and the marginal cost. Okay? or we call it the sigma marginal benefit, or marginal cost. I think we just look at this one. Equal what? Equal to 450.
450.
So marginal cost equal to the marginal benefit. You can see from the graph, the equilibrium will be happening at Q equal to 3 and price equal to 450. So this is determined by the graph. All right. Since the marginal cost is 450, so that will be the price. Huh? Okay. So that is the market. Now, what is everyone price? In other words, what is the marginal benefit for everybody? Or what is the willingness to pay for everyone? Okay, so to find the marginal benefit, MB star, or the price willingness to pay, not P star, because we already put the P star over there. I think I just put the price MB and P, okay, willingness to pay for everyone at Q star. Okay, what do we do? So as a rule, we have earlier, what is the condition? We will do this. We will take this one. At P, you got the Q star already. Okay, at Q star, you add up. Okay, the price of A at that Q star, you call it PA star. You add the PB star, you add the PC star, you get the PD star, that we will get P star. Okay, so in our example here, Q star is equal to 3. And you know P star is already equal to 450. Okay, so what you need to find all these prices at that level of output. How much they are willing to pay, or you can say how much are they willing to contribute, or you can also say what are their marginal benefit at the equilibrium amount. So we know the Q star is equal to 3. All right. So here you got at Q equal to 3, Q star equal to 3. Then you will look at the marginal benefit of everyone. Okay. And then the sum must equal to what? Must equal to the P star, the equilibrium price. So what do? I'll go back to the diagram. So in other words, what do I have to show? We will look at individual demand function. So let's say this is MBA, this is MBB, that is MBC. So for the equilibrium amount equal to 3, you know the price or the marginal cost, the equilibrium marginal benefit equal to the equilibrium marginal cost equal to 450. All right, that is a P star. Then you want to find how much people are willing to pay for Q equal to 3. That will be based on what? That will be based on their demand function. So for C, that is PC star. And for B, that is PB star. And that is for A, PA star, corresponding to the Q star. Now, how much is PC at Q star, at Q equal to 3? That will be equal to what? That will be equal to 100. How much is the price of B at Q equal to 3, the equilibrium? That will be 150. And what about A? 200. So the sum of these prices of everyone at the equilibrium amount will be 450.
Hisap tak turn on pun.
Okay. All right. So we will get that thing. So at Q equal to 3, the MB of A, or the price of A, will be equal to 200. The price or the marginal benefit for B, you call it PB, equal to 150. The marginal benefit of C equal to PC equal to 100. And the sum, okay, which is equal to P star, that is the sigma marginal benefit star, that is equal to 450. So when you add up, okay, the add up will be equal to P star. If it is not equal, then something wrong. Okay, either our problem is with the addition, or our problem is with the market price. So this must add up. Okay, to make sure that the contribution, the total contribution of everyone, the sum will be equal to the market price or the market marginal benefit at the equilibrium quantity. Okay, all right, any question? So that is the equilibrium. So for more detail, all right, you will look at that diagram again. You know, if you are not sure, you go home, you look at the table 4.2 and then look at the figure 4.6. But make sure that we understand, okay? Understand how we get the market demand. The key here is how you get the market demand for the public good, okay? The marginal cost, supply, no change. And then how do you determine how much everyone contribute or everyone willingness to pay? Okay, all right. So that is our first model. So that first model is what we call the optimum contribution of, or the optimum amount of public good by private provision. So that is private provision of public good. So that is our first model. So make sure you are clear on that thing, because next week we are going to continue from here. We are going to say that there is some problem with this model, so therefore probably government has to come in. Okay, all right, good. Any question, any comment, anything? Okay, so I will stop here. I will see you again next week. Okay, so spend the weekend, study this chapter, right? The public good. Make sure we understand that thing. Okay, so I'll see you again. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Salam, sir.
Salam.
Sir, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much, sir.